So we're out here today at Hard Labor Reservoir in Northeast Georgia, sharing with you a little bit about the Navy 6.0 Evo motor, battery platform, and a lot of the commonly asked questions that we get in the shop and on the water about electric outboards, battery systems that support it, and optimizing your boat from switching from a gas outboard to an electric outboard. The 6.0 Evo platform is a 9.9 horsepower comparison motor designed for pontoon boats, big cruising boats, sailboats, pretty much anything up to a 10 or 12,000 pound hull weight that is designed to push a big boat through the water. We actually got a tiny boat here, a Pontini 12 series pontoon boat outfitted with the Navy 6.0 Evo with a long shaft and two E80 E-series batteries that roughly are both 80 amp hours apiece. Times 2, you're looking at about 160 amp hours. Now, the Navy 6.0 is a 125 amp max power battery. So whether you're going with the E-series batteries or another lithium choice, you need to have a minimum of that 120 amp hours to support full throttle operation of the Navy 6.0 Evo. So the Navy 6.0, from the factory, it comes with two different types of propellers. You have your low pitch propeller, and as we have on this boat, the high pitch propeller. Those two propeller options are designed to be able to dial in the performance for the type of boat that you have and the condition. So for instance, the low pitch propeller is for pushing and torque. So something on heavy loads, so say you have a big sailboat or a big trawler or something like that, and you're mainly looking for the torque and the push, you want that low pitch propeller. But since we have this Navy 6.0 on a little bit smaller boat and we're out here in the North Georgia fishing reservoirs, we're looking for a little bit more on the top speed side of things. So we have the high pitch propeller on this smaller, lighter weight boat. So the biggest thing about performance and engine height with electric outboards is it's not like gas outboards where the boat is designed to plane and that propeller is designed to be out of the water and creating a rooster tail or getting ventilation and cavitation at the tips of the prop. Electric outboards, you really need more water over the propeller to get your max efficiency. You're not looking like a gas outboard that's spinning a lot higher RPMs. So with an electric outboard, you want at least 4 to 5 inches of water over the top of that propeller to where that water line is at on the boat. So you roughly want at least minimum of 4 to 5 inches top of propeller to the surface of the water. And that's one reason why we have the on-the-fly jack plate, their electric jack plate, to be able to raise and lower that motor as needed for the best performance. So lower in the water, you're going to get less ventilation at the prop, but you're going to get a better grip, especially in rough water or if you're pushing heavy loads. Then if you're looking for like top speed performance out here like in the North Georgia reservoirs for tournament bass fishing, then you want to dial it in to where you're at the highest possible position without sucking in too much air, which typically is about 4 to 5 inches over the top of the propeller. With EPropulsion, there's 3 motors to select from: a 3 horsepower, a 6 horsepower, and a 9.9. The 3 horsepower is the Spirit 1.0 Plus platform. 1.0, a little confusing on the horsepower there. 1.0 is 1,000 watt power equals 3 horsepower. The Navy 3.0 is 3,000 watts, which equals 6 horsepower. And then here in front of me is a Navy 6.0 Evo, which is 6.0 for 6,000 watts, which is roughly equatable to a 9.9 gasoline outboard. So as with all of the EPropulsion series of motors, the tilt and trim, on this boat we do not have a tilt unit. We opted for the on-the-fly jack plate to be able to dial in the height. However, with the EPropulsion motors, you can use a simple pin to be able to get your trim position to dial in your specific boat performance and get that tilt of your boat specifically right when you're underway. Simply, this is at the 0% degree level here. You can see the motor's pretty much directly straight down with the transom, and then all you gotta do is pull that up and let it click into place, and it'll go in those increments all the way up to a fully tilted position if you would like. But the reason why you would have this on your boat and be able to change the trim position is because certain boats ride at certain best at certain levels. So for instance, like this pontoon boat, we don't want it all the way down at the 0 position because it's actually going to try and push the nose down. This performance goes best on this boat actually at the next level up. It keeps the boat a little bit flatter in the water. So it just depends on your type of setup as well as your transom angle. As you can see right here, the transom angle on this boat is pretty close to almost straight upwards. There's no actual really, maybe 5 degrees. But some boats, like for instance a John boat or a Bass Tracker, may have a 17-degree angled transom, and that's when you need to start playing with the trim of your motor. So on the Navy 6.0 Evo, as with every electric outboard, battery selection is huge, and the nice thing about EPropulsion is that for the 6.0 class motor pulling roughly 125 amps, you got a couple options on how you can do your battery assortment. So because of this pontoon boat, and we wanted to keep the weight level on each side, we decided to go with 2 E80 battery packs versus the 1 E175. And those 80 battery packs are designed for 80 amp hours is the rating, and then the E175 battery pack is essentially 2 of these plus a little bit more packed into one unit that weighs about 220 pounds, and that is 175 amp hours. So because we had a boat that really we needed to focus on the weight being even on both sides, and we're able to put the batteries in 2 separate areas to do that, we go with the E80, 2 E80 concept. And then if you had a boat, say a larger pontoon boat or a fishing boat where you're able to put that big single 1 battery pack in a part of the boat that wouldn't take up so much space and would provide great balance, you can go with the E175. If you need to have a boat where you need to split the weight up, whether it's front and rear or if it's side to side, then you want to go with the E80 battery packs that allows you to split up that weight and move those battery packs throughout the boat for better performance as well as a better sit in the water. So we went with the 2 E80s. However, there's also the E40 battery pack, which is half the rated amp hours of the E80 battery pack, but also half the weight, half the size. So you could actually technically go with 4 E40 battery packs to match the Navy 6.0 to run that at full capacity. So for the Navy 6.0 Evo, as well with all the EPropulsion Evo class motors, you can run them off a third-party battery if you would like. So such as deep cycle lead acid batteries, AGM batteries, even lithium batteries as well. Now the biggest thing is that the Navy 6.0 Evo draws 125 amps at full throttle. So you need to have the proper batteries to match the amount of power that these motors are pulling. Now with a deep cycle, 125 continuous amps, you're looking more into the industrial class of deep cycles, which really get heavy over time. One reason why lithium is such a popular option for that. AGMs, they're a little bit better, they're lighter, they last longer. However, they still are pretty heavy in size-wise, size consuming to be able to match that 125 amp capacity rating. Lithium, you can also run off a third-party lithium battery if you would like. However, because of the E-Series batteries having their own battery management system that talks directly to the EPropulsion motor, you're not going to get that exact battery data. You're going to get a more of an estimated analog count data of your runtime through the throttle or through your side mount or top mount control LCD screen by going with the third-party battery. The size of the battery, the biggest thing that people get mixed up on is that there's a difference between your battery's rated capacity versus its continuous capacity rating. So for instance, you want 125 amps to run this motor at full throttle. However, you need that in continuous capacity, not peak capacity. So for instance, a 120 amp hour battery can potentially provide 120 amps in a spark point. However, it cannot provide that in full capacity. It probably has roughly 100 continuous amps capacity to run this at full throttle for an extended period of time without overheating or overdrawing the battery. So to be safe, typically we recommend at least 150 amp hour rated battery, because typically that continuous rating is about 10 or 20% less than the stated amp hour capacity on the battery itself. So to be safe, 150 amp hours or larger capacity, and you at least need that 125 amps continuous draw rating on those batteries. So to do a dual battery setup or to have your battery packs further away from your motor, the EPropulsion comes with a battery switch and cables to run to your battery. However, sometimes you need to place those batteries farther away towards the front of the boat, or say you have a sailboat and you want to put them down in the galley or down in the bilge area, you need to extend those. You can totally do that by using 2-gauge wire to extend your battery leads directly from the motor, as well as your bridging cables from battery to battery. You just want to make sure that you use 2-gauge tinned copper wire. You don't want to use jumper cable wire or booster wire, it's not going to last in the marine environment. You want to make sure you use good quality tin copper and also tin connections, as well as your heat shrink to be able to keep away corrosion in those connections. With the Navy Evo series of outboards, you have 3 different throttle types to choose from for a single motor application. Most popular here in North Georgia and in our southern fishing reservoirs is a simple tiller handle with the Evo tiller. Then you also have the top mount throttle for remote steering and remote throttle applications, as well as a side mount throttle for applications with remote steering, such as on a fishing boat to replace the standard side control mount of a gasoline outboard or a pontoon boat, as well as some of your other standard sailing craft. But you have 3 different throttle types that all integrate their own LCD screen, just like the tiller handle does, to be able to give you exact accurate info and runtime from your batteries and the operation of your Navy Evo motor. The Spirit 1.0 class motors also has the Evo class of the Spirit 1.0 platform at 3 horsepower. That Spirit Evo is designed for a remote throttle steering capability, as well as a wireless kill switch and remote throttle. It also has the hydrogeneration feature to be able to charge while you're underway, under sail power, or under current. Now, that Evo class motor is the same 3 horsepower platform, but with those extra added additions to be able to be best for someone who is going off the grid sailing or needs that remote steering capability on, say, a pontoon boat or a dinghy that has that remote steering. Other than that, if you do not need the remote steering capability or hydrogeneration, you're just going to a local fishing reservoir like here at Hard Labor in North Georgia, all you need is a simple tiller handle of the Spirit 1.0 Plus platform. So when making the switch from gas to electric, there's a few things that you need to consider. One is obviously runtime. That's a big question that we get in the electric outboard world. Will the runtime of an electric outboard match that of gasoline? And in all honesty, it won't. That's one of the things that you need to take into consideration going to electric, is that you do have runtime that is limited by your battery capacity. However, in terms of cost and efficiency and long-term use, a battery far outweighs the usage of gasoline in most smaller motor applications. So when choosing to go electric, a few of the positives, especially for older gentlemen or people that just really don't want to deal with the hassle of a heavy, messy outboard, is the electric. There's no gas, there's no oil. You don't need to worry about setting it down in the back of your truck and gas leaking out of the carburetors or the fuel injectors, but also it's lightweight. Now, obviously the Navy 6.0 Evo is a more heavy-duty platform. The Spirit 1.0 Plus only weighs 46 pounds. So in comparison to your 9.9 or your 15 horsepower motors, it's a lot more portable, and the battery actually only weighs 19 pounds, so you can separate the two, make it even lighter between carrying from the dock to your boat or from the truck to the boat ramp, things like that. Makes life a lot easier. It's also plug and play. There's no pull starting, there's no nasty carburetors, cold starting, those issues pretty much go out the door when you go to electric. It's plug and play. You charge it just like you would your cell phone. You plug it in, turn the throttle on, and off you go down the lake. So when considering gas versus electric, now top speed is a touchy subject. However, with electric, you have to take into consideration that your boat is going to be performing a little bit differently. So gas engines, they have a gearbox that reduces the gears, as well as a propeller with different pitches, and that boat is typically, and that motor is designed to plane. With an electric outboard, they're designed for low-end torque and for pushing. So with a gasoline outboard, that motor is spinning 5,000-6,000 RPMs and designed to plane and run efficiently at that higher RPM range. With an electric motor, because they're designed for torque and efficiency and pushing, they only spin roughly about 1,000 RPMs at the propeller. So it's a little bit different in terms of the efficiency of the motor as well as the performance. You're not going to set any top speed records with an electric. However, your efficiency, especially at lower throttle, you're going to exponentially open up that run time for the lithium batteries to 6, 8, 12, 16 hours at a low amount of throttle, and you're still going to get roughly about 60 to 80% of that speed out of that engine at those lower throttles at a much more efficient rate, as well as have the pushing power for larger vessels. We don't have to worry too much about the pushing power on this 12-foot Pontini, but on your 25-foot sailboat or your 35-foot cruiser at 10,000 pound hull weight, you want the most amount of torque as possible. And with electric, just like your electric vehicles, it's instantaneous torque. It's the same way with an electric outboard versus a gas outboard, that you really have to play with the RPM band to be able to access all the torque that comes out of a smaller gas outboard. You don't have that with electric. You have instantaneous torque, especially around a scenario where you're in a marina or a dock and you need precise control over your boat. In those situations, especially with wind, you don't want to be relying on a small gas outboard with unreliable torque expectations to maneuver your boat in a marina. With electric, makes it easy, instantaneous torque. So with the EPropulsion series of motors, they are all direct drive motors, which means that the actual motor unit is housed here in that lower unit. There is no gear reduction between the motor and the propeller. That gives you the max amount of efficiency from that power generating motor to the propeller to push you down the lake, give you the best amount of efficiency for that battery pack as well as performance. Unlike some other types of outboards out there that use a power head in a traditional outboard, and they lose that efficiency through the gearbox and through other things that are pulling from the power of that unit. So when we're talking about the EPropulsion Navy and EPropulsion Spirit 1.0 Plus, that horsepower rating is a true performance rating of that motor. Unlike some other brands out there, you may get a 20 or 30% decrease in actual performance versus the stated horsepower, and that's mainly due to an efficiency loss and potential overrating of the horsepower for the motor.